1 year ago, I made this game in 48 hours for the GMTK Game Jam, an annual game-making competition. But I participated with an extra challenge. I couldn't use a game engine, just C++ and a graphics library called SDL2. And the game kinda sucked. So 1 year later, I'm back to try this challenge again for the GMTK Game Jam 2021. The jam starts in 30 minutes, so while we wait, let's set everything up. With that taken care of, let's take a look at the theme.
The theme is
No.
joined together.
Oh my god.
I want to see games
No.
where at least two elements are connected.
Why? One thing you might be able to gather from this footage is that I wasn't entirely fond of the GMTK Game Jam theme. It's not bad, just not very original. I've already made 2 games under similar themes, so it was going to be hard to come up with something different. So I was already behind a few hours from setting everything up, but I have a trick up my sleeve. You see, this year I don't have to follow Coder Gopher's 10-part tutorial series. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to steal his code, but now, since I know how it works, I can use and modify it without needing to spend hours recreating it step by step.
Hey, you can't just steal my code, Polymart.
So what this code does is just let you create entities, set their positions, and draw them to the screen. And I can modify it as I need to add things like rotating and scaling sprites, displaying fonts, and whatever. So let's draw an entity to the screen. I said, let's draw an entity to the screen. This is going to be a long weekend. 5 hours into the jam, and I can't even display a sprite. There we go. Now, can I please start working on the actual game? So I kind of want to try making a top-down mini-golf game, since I think trying to recreate golf ball physics from scratch would be a lot of fun. So to tie it in with the theme, I'm thinking of having multiple golf courses make up each level, and your stroke affects all of the balls at once. They are joined together. I think this idea is different enough from my past games, right? So I put together a little prototype with a circle. But don't be fooled. This isn't any ordinary circle. This is a golf ball. I think this is how golf balls are supposed to work. When you click the left mouse button, I store the cursor's coordinates in a vector called initial position, and while the mouse is being held down, I set a velocity variable to the distance between the current cursor position and the initial position vector using a theorem created by my good friend Pythagoras. Then it's just a basic friction simulation. While the mouse button isn't being pressed down, I convert the 1D velocity into x and y components using some ratios and add this to the ball's position every frame. And each frame, I decrease the 1D velocity by a tiny constant until it reaches 0. But just one golf ball is pretty boring. So what if we had 2 golf balls? Still pretty boring. So let's get to work on some art. I made sprites in GIMP for the ball and the background. That's good enough for now. I'm going to sleep. The biggest things I need to focus on today are tile maps with collision and level progression. So I made tile objects that the ball can bounce off of. And they can pretty much be any size. I just check where the ball will be the next frame, but for each axis individually. If I move the ball's X position and it's inside a tile, I invert the X velocity, and if I move the ball's Y position and it's inside a tile, I invert the Y velocity. And the collision detection itself is just basic rectangular box collision. So I made some simple art for 64x64 and 32x32 tiles, and then I made a little arrow that points in the direction of your shot using the inverse tangent of the X and Y velocity components. So now that we have the building blocks for levels, we need a way to store and progress between levels. So I made a method called loadLevel. LoadLevel clears the list of tiles and resets the ball's parameters, then based on an integer that represents the current level, adds new tiles at certain positions and sets new starting positions for each ball. So by tediously filling in positions for each object, I can create and load as many levels as I want. Then for level progression, I made a hole sprite in GIMP and a hole object that, when collided with, sets the ball to be in a win state where its size shrinks towards 0 and its position moves toward the center of the hole. And once both balls' sizes reach 0, I increase the current level integer by 1 and call load level. This is nice and all, but here's the problem. I have no levels. And all my games up until this point have been endless with procedural generation, so I don't really know how to design them. The deadline is getting pretty close, so let's hope I can pull this off. But there's one thing I want to take care of first: UI. Right now, it's hard to gauge the power of your strokes, so I want to make a power meter along with a stroke counter to track your score throughout the game. So we're going to need a font rendering library and a font. So here's the new UI in action. There is a display of the current hole along with your total strokes, and a power meter I made by just scaling a sprite based on your velocity. The jam ends in less than 4 hours, so let's try to design as many levels as possible in an hour. Then I can spend the last 3 hours setting up menus, sound effects, and a build. So I went a little bit over time, but now I have 5 levels and 2.5 hours to submit. Let's add some sound effects. Very cool. I finished things up by adding a splash screen, title screen, and end screen after the final level that displays your total strokes. Surprisingly, I actually had a completed game and submitted 30 minutes before the deadline. I wanted to compile to JavaScript for a web build, but I knew it was too late to mess with that, since I've learned from the past that it is pretty unreliable. A few hours after submitting, I woke up from my Game Jam induced coma, and it turns out that C++ actually added a secret feature to my game. It's basically a speedrun timer. Every second, my code leaks around 200 megabytes of memory, so you have to play the game really quickly if you want to get through it before it crashes. Yeah, I messed up. A lot of people couldn't even get into the game. So basically, I wasted 48 hours making a game that nobody can play, and I'm a lot worse at coding in C++ than I thought. But I guess it was like a learning experience or something, and I think the end result turned out pretty cool regardless, if you can ignore the fact that it doesn't work. I'll leave a link to the game's itch.io page in the description, which will be updated soon to fix the memory leaks and hopefully include a web version. The project's also on GitHub, but you probably shouldn't look at that. Anyway, that's all, so thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.